So, our minds are not objective logical machines. Our minds are a vast network of ideas, striving not necessarily for truth, but for internal consistency. In view of this, there's plain to see that childhood is the most preferred indoctrination period for manipulative groups. Parents and guardians and government can get right there at the start and insert any uncircumcised ideas of what is good bad for the health without resistance. And being implanted so early, they stand a good chance of becoming core belief monsters and of having lots of ideas reinforcing with strong associations of identity on many levels in the individual, family, culture, perhaps nationality. If the unsubstantiated concepts laid out for the challenge trimming, giving all of these areas a chance and indoctrinating other adults who are advanced in their cognitive networks is not so straight. Forward, these groups give and suggest and think distinctly in inhospitable environments, and there's no achieving this goal. Some adults will mimic these childhood conditions by fantasizing about adult conditions, and such as Christians deem being like children interested in the dependent Yahweh and the total absence of any evidence giving the Yahweh, translating into trusting and dependent heeding of the human representing Astro. Nice. So if you don't become like a child, you never get into heaven. And in a similar vein, you're telling me that you're not leaning on your own understanding. You're not being wise in your own all-knowing self. The message in all of these commands couldn't be clearer. Wherever your ideas conflicting with those of the group, it's your ideas that need to change, not theirs. So, folks, you submit to these commands, and you can now have a vast amount of power in your own cognitive network rewritten without substantiating resistance, just like childhood. Of course, adults are more in a bonus position, giving the major world religions a run for their money, guaranteeing an influx of child recruits as long as the abuse of childhood religious indoctrination continues. And other groups that are more reliant on the adult recruits often have to manipulate a cognitive dissonance in more subtle ways than their counterparts in these other groups. So we're looking at a reflection in the mirror and we're staring at the wall all day long. We're in a monastery setting, which is deep. It's as if a cluster of alien spirits attached to us all, keeping us from our full potential in the Ian approach on the street with personalities. We're agreeing to the company with premises behind this, explaining half an hour of explanations, resulting in the show. Stable, pressed, nervous, and overly critical no more. These conflicting thoughts with conflicting images talking to women and their lives, frustrations, and disappointments with being in that body, the binary of the results of the split, the eternal course of becoming more effective as a person and using national resources and the culture to their own benefit and writing books, experiencing first cognitive flavors, having two concoctions, one that is not as interesting and two that is ingestible, using hours of my time to write this book and placing this in the adjustment file. And I'm rationalizing no more. I'm going home. I'm dipping into books, reflecting on the ideas of becoming more effective as a person, raising the question, are the fading minds despising themselves, or are they selecting, confirming information, finding memories that match the results? deciding she has nothing to lose by giving it a go in return for signing up for courses, of course, getting locked into commitment cycles. The more time and money I invest, the more I become convinced this is worthwhile. I'm persuaded I should invest more time and money in further and that includes oral activities like sitting in silence, staring at other members, and endlessly picking up the same objects. These meaningless tasks confuse you. They induce trance states and hallucinations, increasing our sensibility and direction. At the end of the day, at the end of every course of life, we read out loud and we help ourselves with this non forceful, peaceful way in the meaningless tasks, declaring publicly, we understand the benefits, we know the creativity dissonance, the gene reducing, rationalizing heat with the benefits. Understood. So, further reducing these ways of thirst and speech, receiving huge praise from other members, validating my work and words, and building on my feelings of acceptance, loyalty to the group. Second, the testimony of other members, further justifying the idea that the task has meaning. And other activities train in nocturnal provocations, for instance, when being goaded with insults, jokes by other members, Ian learns to disconnect from confrontation. He rationalizes that this training is helping her focus and will soon be put at bay. And she's told that the group's interest in the betterment of humankind is an important task. It's total freedom for everyone on the planet, and this resonates powerfully with my own humanity and concerns. I'm told that critics who want to sabotage this important work, spreading lies and alienating members from the group, encouraging the group to avoid mainstream media for this reason. It has always been against censorship that has now been repackaged as a sensible precaution against destructive critics. The group now controlling all the information in the rhythm by the group and later confronting the critics in person, automatically disconnecting from them as being trained to do so and locking them in. In everyday life, I feel better, sharper, more confident, and more effective. But it's all an illusion, and the group is causing to pitch it to the kindergarten level. In the mental terms, far from being stretched, and I'm slowly regressing. And by completing these basic courses, I'm giving the process to the next level, estraining the overly ritualized counseling that's introduced by using lie detector like technology to gauge his emotional reaction as she repeatedly confronts difficult memories. And the aim is to nullify all emotional reaction to past traumas and to no longer let it register with the operator. These counseling sessions are expensive and they come at my expense, and sometimes I'm tolerant and I frequently emerge with a feeling of being lied to and taking these sessions further and further into the past until I'm not quite sure if I'm being with these emotions or talking about the groove. Is the father concerned? Is the money an issue? And the internet service is or isn't, is great or is bad. Good and bad, two categories that cannot be separated one from the other. The kind of all lies statement. Sigh. I'm not talking anymore to at length about this conserved expression seriously damaging his brain. Oh, what an exhausting session. I'm not going to discuss the superficial, taking the issue to counseling, nullifying my emotions with the therapist. Noble aim, for total freedom for everyone on the planet. Repackaged again. Total freedom now means to do what the group allows. Everyone on the planet now means everyone who remains uncritical of the leader. 3 years and thousands of dollars later, I'm still completing this task on 2 levels of counseling. One, also expecting the children and remembering. Time for level 3.